Federal government declares May 27, 28 public holidays for Eid al-Kabir celebration. ADC slams Tinubu over economy, security, rising hardship in Nigeria. Lagos government arrests 931 residents for waste management offences. Good evening and welcome to News Express on Adami Mogu 93.1 FM Lagos, a blend of national, local, political, international, sports and entertainment news. I'm Ayo Adekeye and all the news in detail. We begin from Abuja, where the federal government has declared Wednesday, May 27 and Thursday, May 28 as public holidays to mark this year's Eid al-Kabir celebration. The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, announced this today, congratulating Muslim faithful in Nigeria and the diaspora on the occasion, while describing the celebration as a festival of deep spiritual significance rooted in sacrifice, obedience to God, and compassion for humanity. The minister urged Nigerians to use the holiday period for prayers and reflection for the peace, security, and prosperity of the country. He also called on citizens to embrace the spirit of brotherhood, unity, and peaceful coexistence during the celebration. And now the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, has said President Bola Tinubu is borrowing to fund road infrastructure projects because roads are critical to national security and economic development. Umahi made a statement during a visit by the Inspector General of Police, IGP Olatunji Disu, to the Ministry of Works, explaining that without good roads, security agencies face operational difficulties, trade is hindered, and access to schools and economic activities become limited. The minister noted that a large portion of ongoing road projects, valued at about 34 trillion naira, were inherited from previous administrations, some dating back to 2000, 2015, and 2017. Umahi, however, revealed that there are plans to produce security infrastructure across major routes in each geopolitical zone, including CCTV, solar lighting, rest house, and observation centers. Elsewhere, the federal government has warned Nigerians against leaving the country without valid travel documents, stressing that such actions are illegal and expose individuals to serious risks. In the public alert posted today, the Public Relations Officer of the Nigerian Immigration Service, DCI A.S. Akinlabi, cautioned that all international travel must be carried out with a valid passport and other approved immigration documents. He noted that any attempt to bypass official procedures or use unauthorized border routes constitute a violation of Nigerian law. The NIS also raised concern over the growing use of fraudulent migration schemes where criminal networks lure unsuspecting citizens, particularly young people, with false promises of employment, education, or better living conditions abroad. He urged members of the public to report suspicious activities to the nearest immigration service formation or other relevant security agencies. Now to politics, where the African Democratic Congress ADC has criticized President Bola Tinubu, accusing his administration of presiding over worsening economic hardship, insecurity, and deepening poverty. In a strongly worded statement posted on social media, the party said it was shocked and saddened by what it described as dismissive comments by the president towards opposition and Nigerians by claiming success in governance. The ADC alleged that Nigeria is currently experiencing one of its most difficult democratic and economic periods, citing rising inflation, collapsing purchasing power, and increasing food insecurity across the country. According to the ADC, international organizations have repeatedly warned about Nigeria's worsening food security situation, describing it as one of the most severe globally. It concluded that Nigeria cannot continue on its current path of hardship and decline, calling for more accountable and compassionate leadership. In the meantime, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar says democracy will continue to thrive in Nigeria, irrespective of attempts by some desperate politicians to cripple the system. Atiku, who is a presidential aspirant in the African Democratic Congress ADC, made a statement today shortly after casting his vote at the Nigeria World Polling Unit in Jimeta, Yola, Adamawa State. Speaking after voting, Atiku said the turnout reflected strong commitment by party members to internal democratic process. Meanwhile, former Minister Rotimi Amechi has urged members of the party to vote for pedigree and integrity over ethnic affiliation. Speaking during the primaries in his ward, Amechi expressed confidence in the process and in the orderly manner at which the party faithfuls went about the activity. The ADC presidential primary was conducted simultaneously across 8,809 wards in 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, with party members turning out in large numbers. In a separate development, factional People's Democratic Party (PDP), led by Kabir Tanimu Turaki, has paid a visit to Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde in Ibadan. Turaki was accompanied by members of the party's board of trustees, led by Adolphus Wabara, and the Interim National Working Committee described the visit as a solidarity call. He said the delegation visited the governor to commiserate with the people of the state over the recent cases of kidnapping and killings. According to Turaki, Nigeria's current security structure has failed to adequately address the growing insecurity challenges across the country.
So we feel, from our own perspective as PDP, that there is a need for the security architecture to be overhauled. If you now see that the governor of the state is the chief security officer, then for all intent and purposes, he should be seen to be in charge of all the security apparatus that exist in the state. Commands and instructions should be taken from him. I think if that is done, probably we'll be able to stop all these kind of incidences from taking place in our states.
The visit comes shortly after Governor Seyi Makinde declared his presidential ambition on the platform of the Allied People's Movement (APM), following a coalition involving the APM and the Tanimu Turaki-led faction of the PDP. Elsewhere, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, says the reported withdrawal of Governor Siminalayi Fubara from the 2027 governorship race in Rivers State is an earlier political understanding. Wike alleged that the political crisis in Rivers State was shaped by a prior agreement involving President Bola Tinubu. According to him, Fubara had agreed to step down from his second-term ambition in exchange for the suspension of impeachment proceedings by the Rivers State House of Assembly. He said the governor's initial move to obtain nomination forms contradicted what he described as an earlier political understanding. Wike have expressed support for the House of Representatives member Kingsley Chinda, describing his emergence as the APC governorship candidate as politically natural.
Human angle perspective.
And now to education, where the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, University of Jos branch, has warned of a looming industrial crisis in Nigeria's public universities over what is described as federal government's slow and inconsistent implementation of the 2025 agreement. Speaking during a press conference at the Union Secretariat in the University of Jos, the branch leadership said frustration was growing among academics, warning that the fragile peace within the university system could soon collapse if urgent steps were not taken.
ASU is concerned generated from the 14th January 2026 Jamboree for the unveiling of the ASU Working Committee INC is expected to facilitate the implementation of the agreement and guide its strategic actualization. Consequently, the implementation of the state universities. The union has observed with grave concern the collective payment of the various aspects of the salary component pattern and academic allowances to be mainstreamed EA, the professorial allowance PE, and the responsibility and respective stakeholders yet to provide the needed funds.
According to ASU, the failure of government to fully implement the agreement could trigger another round of industrial action across public universities. And now, Federal High Court in Abuja has adjourned the forfeiture case filed by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) against 9 properties linked to former Governor Timi Persiva of Bayelsa State. Justice Ogboi adjourned the matter until July 16, following the inability of the FCC lawyer Lekki to file a report of compliance in respect of the earlier interim order granted against the properties. Justice Eguatu had granted the FCC's request for the publication of the order in any 2 newspapers within 7 days from the date of receipt of the certified true copy of the order for interested persons to show cause within 14 days. However, in a ruling today, Justice Eguatu directed Atolagbe to publish the motion on notice seeking final forfeiture of the 3 properties the way the enrolled order was published. He also ordered him to serve the parties who are yet to be served and file his report of compliance on the earlier interim order in the interest of a fair hearing. Now back to the metropolis. Lagos State government says it apprehended 931 people for waste management offences, inspected 2,251 sites, issued 1,711 contravention notices, and sealed 239 facilities as part of environmental compliance operations last year. The State Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, disclosed this at the ministerial press briefing, noting that the environmental monitoring initiative was aimed at improving air quality, reducing pollution, and safeguarding public health.
About 3,920 health facilities were registered statewide, with a total of 80,000 to 105,000 kilograms medical waste treated monthly. Through the monitoring and enforcement drive of the agency, 931 persons were apprehended for waste management offences. 2,251 sites were inspected. 1,711 contravention notices were issued. 239 sites were sealed.
Well, I've further disclosed that the State Environmental Protection Agency, LASEPA, intensified environmental monitoring operations through the installation of modern air quality monitoring system across the state. The Commissioner noted that the Sanwo-Olu administration remains committed to strengthening environmental compliance, deploying modern technology, and intensifying enforcement efforts to ensure a cleaner and healthier Lagos. You're listening to News Express on Adami Mogo 93.1 FM Lagos. Still to come. On sports, Barcelona set for fresh talks with Manchester United over Marcus Rashford. On entertainment, late actor Alex Okubo to be laid to rest in Abia State.
You can listen to Adami Mogo 93.1 FM from any part of the world. Download the Adami Mogo 931 FM app from Google Play Store and Radio Garden. And follow us on Adami Mogo 93.1 FM on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you have eyewitness stories or exclusive to share, contact the Adami Mogo FM newsroom via mail at newsroom@adamimogofm.com. Or you can dial 070-634-03583. You can dial 090-319-69629. Adami Mogo 93.1 FM Lagos, voice of the light.
Glad to know you're still with us, and now to the rest of the stories. On the foreign scene, Iran's top negotiator and its foreign minister were in Doha for talks with Qatar's prime minister on a potential deal with the U.S. to end the 3-month-old war. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio had told reporters earlier in New Delhi that the U.S. would give diplomacy every chance to succeed before considering whether to deal with Iran in another way. In a lengthy post on Truth Social, U.S. President Donald Trump had also said that talks with Iran were going nicely, but warned of fresh attacks if they failed. Iran's foreign ministry spokesperson, Ismail Baghei, has however said in a briefing that conclusions had been reached on many topics, but that did not mean the sides were close to an agreement. Now to sports, where Barcelona will hold fresh talks with Manchester United before the World Cup to try and sign Marcus Rashford. Barcelona have already agreed personal terms with the England attacker, and the La Liga champions wish to make his transfer permanent, despite reports in Spain claiming the club's interests has cooled. The 28-year-old has scored 14 goals and got 14 assists in 49 appearances this season and wishes to stay in Spain. His loan from Manchester United includes a €30 million option to buy and an option for a second season-long loan with a condition obligation to buy based on small number of appearances. United have to date informed Barcelona to trigger if they wish to secure Rashford, pointing to the fact that it is below his market valuation. To entertainment, where the family of late Nollywood actor Alex Akubo has announced plans for his burial, with funeral rites scheduled to conclude on June 18. In an obituary statement released by the family on his Instagram, the public was urged to continue praying for the late actor, his wife and the entire family during the difficult period. According to the funeral arrangement released by the family, a service of songs will be held on Wednesday, June 10 at the Monarch Event Centre, Lekki, Lagos, with guests expected to wear white. The wake-keep is scheduled for Wednesday, June 17 at Ikubo Kwarike Avenue in Ujari Village, Arochukwu, Abia State. The funeral service and interment will take place on Thursday, June 18. The actor passed on May 11 after battling kidney cancer. As we conclude News Express on Adami Mogo 93.1 FM Lagos, here's a recap of the major stories. I told you federal government has declared Wednesday, May 27 and Thursday, May 28 as public holiday to mark this year's Eid al-Kabir celebration. Also in the news, African Democratic Congress ADC criticized President Bola Tinubu, accusing his administration of presiding over worsening economic hardship, insecurity, and deepening national poverty. Finally, we told you Lagos State government said it apprehended 931 people for waste management offences as part of environmental compliance operations within the last year. And that's News Express. On behalf of the production team, I'm Ayo at DKA saying thank you for listening. Have a good evening.
See why KTY so yesterday. Which kind of be this? When this Nigeria won't vote, see how should just scatter. All my wife don't turn brown. God, I beg.
You vote last election. You vote.
Vote asal. You know as I be now. You know street. No man no time no day now. Vote asal. Say country dey improve.
Kai, if I no vote, I no get power. Your voice is now your power.
Oh, don't cock yourself. Sell your vote, don't sell your future, but sell your birthright. How much divide them by 4 years? How much that?
Your vote and your power. Ludo. Make we choose leaders wey sabi. Your PVC, your future. No waste time.
Don't sell your vote.
Fílẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀, má yí kúrò níbẹ̀, mo fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀.
Àsìkò ìròyìn ti tó, bóyá ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ̀bọ̀, lórílẹ̀ lálejò bóyá, lọ́mọdé lágbà, ẹ mú kalẹ̀ owó, ẹ mú kalẹ̀ ọmọ. Ìròyìn tó jẹ́ ojúlówó rédíò ilẹ̀ tí máa gbọ́ 93.1 FM ìkànnì tó tayọ, Lekki la máa fi kalẹ̀ sí nítorí Èkó, Adami Mogo FM bóyá.
ẹ kúrọ̀lẹ́ o Akotan Iroyin ló ń dé sétí ìgbọ̀nyìn láti ṣe rédíò Adamimogo 93.1 FM tó kalẹ̀ sí Lekki ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó. Adeleke Kẹ́hìndé náà ni oníròyìn síwájú ẹ̀gbọ́n àkókò tó jẹ́ pé ó jẹyọ nínú ìròyìn ọ̀hún. Ìjọba àpapọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ti yẹ ọjọ́ 17 àti ọjọ́ 28 oṣù yìí sọ́tọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìsinmi lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ fún ayẹyẹ ọdún Iléyá ọdún yìí. Ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú African Democratic Congress bẹnu àtẹ́lu ààrẹ Tinubu látàrí ètò ọrọ̀ ajé, ètò ààbò àti bí ìnira ṣe ń pọ̀ sí lórílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. Ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó ti fi ọwọ́ òfin mú àwọn ènìyàn tó lé ní 500 látàrí ẹ̀sùn ṣíṣe ohun ẹ̀gbin síbi tí kò tọ́ láàrin ìlú ní ìpínlẹ̀ yìí. Wáyé ìròyìn rẹ̀ lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́. Ìjọba àpapọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ti kéde ọjọ́rú ọjọ́ 17 àti ọjọ́bọ̀ ọjọ́ 28 oṣù yìí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọjọ́ ìsinmi láti sàmì ayẹyẹ ọdún Iléyá ti ọdún yìí. Ẹni tó jẹ́ mínísítà fún ètò ọ̀nà lórílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ọ̀gbẹ́ni Olúbùnmi Túnjí Òjó ni ó kéde ọ̀rọ̀ yìí síta lónìí òde yìí tó tọ́ka rẹ̀ wípé kíkéde ọjọ́ ìsinmi lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ ọ̀hún ṣe àfihàn bí ìjọba àpapọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ṣe bọ̀wọ̀ fún ìgbàgbọ́ àti ìṣe ẹ̀sìn ogúnlọ́gọ̀ mùsùlùmí orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà tí wọ́n ń sàmì ayẹyẹ ọdún Iléyá. Alàgbà Túnjí Òjó wá kí gbogbo àwọn ẹlẹ́sìn mùsùlùmí orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ti jákèjádò àgbáláyé kú oríire ayẹyẹ ọdún Iléyá náà tó sì ṣe àpèjúwe ọdún Iléyá gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọdún tó ṣe àfihàn ìfarajì, ìbọ̀wọ̀ fún Ọlọ́run àti ìfẹ́ sí ọmọlàkejì ẹni. Mínísítà náà wá rọ àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà láti ṣàmúlò àkókò ìsinmi náà fún àdúrà, ṣíṣàfihàn àlàáfíà àti ètò ààbò àti ìtẹ̀síwájú orílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà. Ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú African Democratic Congress ADC ni wọ́n ti bẹnu àtẹ́lu ààrẹ Bọ́lá Tinubu tó sì fi ẹ̀sùn kọ ìṣèjọba rẹ̀ látàrí bí ètò ọrọ̀ ajé ṣe ń lò lé koko, ètò ààbò tí ń ṣe ségesège àti bí iṣẹ́ òun òṣì túbọ̀ ṣe ń gbilẹ̀ sí i lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí. Nínú ọ̀rọ̀ tí ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú náà sọ, wọ́n ní ó jẹ́ ohun tí ó bẹni lọ́kàn jẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ohun tí ó ṣe àpèjúwe àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ kò bákùngbé eléyìí tí ààrẹ sọ sí ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú alátakò àti àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀‐èdè yìí, èyí tí ìṣèjọba rẹ̀ sọ pé àwọn ti ṣe àṣeyọrí o. Ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú ADC sọ di mímọ̀ pé orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ní ń kojú ọ̀kan pàtàkì nínú ìjọba àwarawa tí ó nira àti àsìkò ètò ọrọ̀ ajé tó sì mẹ́nu bà bí ohun gbogbo ṣe gbówó lórí lórílẹ̀-èdè yìí, ìdákúrekú iná ọba àti àìsí ètò ààbò fún pípèsè oúnjẹ jákèjádò orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. Inú ọ̀rọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú ADC ó ní àwọn ilẹ̀ òkèrè ni wọ́n ti ṣe kìlọ̀kìlọ̀ lákàìmọye ìgbà nípa ipò tí ètò ààbò oúnjẹ ti ṣe túbọ̀ ń burú sí i lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí, tó ṣe àpèjúwe rẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀kan pàtàkì tó burú jáì lágbàáyé. Ó wá tẹnumọ́ wípé orílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà kò ní lè tẹ̀síwájú nínú ìnira tó ń kojú lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́, tó sì ń pè fún aṣáájú tí ọ̀rọ̀ ará ìlú tó jẹ lógún lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí. Igbákejì ààrẹ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà tẹ́lẹ̀ Alhaji Atiku Abubakar wọ́n ti sọ di mímọ̀ pé ìjọba àwarawa yóò túbọ̀ máa ṣe dáadáa sí i lórílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà bí ó tilẹ̀ jẹ́ pé àwọn ọ̀bàyéjẹ́ olóṣèlú kan ń gbìyànjú láti dojú rẹ̀ bolẹ̀. Alhaji Atiku tó tún jẹ́ òdíje du ipò ààrẹ lẹ́gbẹ́ òṣèlú African Democratic Congress ADC ni ó sọ̀rọ̀ yìí di mímọ̀ lónìí òde yìí ní kété tí ó di ìbò rẹ̀ ní wọ́ọ̀dù rẹ̀ ní Jimeta nílùú Yola tí ṣolúlu ìpínlẹ̀ Adamawa. Lásìkò tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́yìn tí ó ti dìbò ọ̀hún, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar sọ di mímọ̀ pé bí àwọn ará ìlú ṣe tuyaya jáde, ó ṣe àfihàn ìpinnu àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú náà fún ìlànà ìṣèjọba àwarawa tó múnádóko. Torí ìdí èyí, mínísítà tẹ́lẹ̀ rí lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà alàgbà Rotimi Amechi ló ti rí àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú ọ̀hún láti dìbò gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ olúàbí láì fi ti ẹ̀yà ṣe. Ẹ̀wẹ̀, ìdìbò abẹ́lé ààrẹ òun náà ni ó ti wáyé o ní wọ́ọ̀dù tó dín díẹ̀ ní ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ̀rún jákèjádò ìpínlẹ̀ mẹ́rìndínlógójì àti olúùlú orílẹ̀-èdè nàìjíríà ti ṣèlú àbújá èyí tí àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú náà tí wọ́n túyáyá sóde láti ṣètò ọ̀hún. àwọn igun kan nínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú people's democratic party èyí tí alàgbà kabiru taminu turaki léwájú rẹ̀ lónìí òde yìí ṣe àbẹ̀wò ìkíni sí gómìnà ṣèyí mákindé ti ìpínlẹ̀ ọ̀yọ́ lásìkò tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́yìn ìpàdé wọn èyí tí wọ́n kọ̀wọ́rìn pẹ̀lú ìgbìmọ̀ olùfọkàntán nínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú people's democratic party pdp èyí tí alàgbà adolphus wabara léwájú rẹ̀ àti àwọn fìdí ẹ̀ ìgbìmọ̀ amúṣẹ́ṣe lẹ́gbẹ́ òṣèlú náà turaki sọ di mímọ̀ pé àbẹ̀wò ìkíni eléyìí tí àwọn wá ṣe sí gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ ọ̀yọ́ dá lórí ìṣọ̀kan nínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú ọ̀hún. ìpàdé ọ̀hún ni ó wáyé lẹ́yìn tí gómìnà mákindé ti kéde èròǹgbà rẹ̀ láti díje du ipò ààrẹ nínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú allied people's movement apm èyí tí ó wáyé lẹ́yìn àjọsọpọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú apm àti àwọn ikọ̀ tí turaki eléyìí tí turaki léwájú rẹ̀ nínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú people's democratic party. àjọ àwọn olùkọ́ fásitì lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí ẹ̀ka tìlú jọ́ọ̀sì ni ó ti ṣe kìlọ̀kìlọ̀ yìí pé ó ń bọ̀ àwọn là ń dẹ́ẹ́dẹ́ o kí ìyanṣẹ́lódì má bàa wáyé látàrí ohun tí ó ṣe àpèjúwe rẹ̀ ní títìrì ìjọba àpapọ̀ láti ṣàmúlò àdéhùn ìjọba àpapọ̀ àti àjọ asuu tọdún 2025 lásìkò tí wọ́n ń bá wọn oníròyìn sọ̀rọ̀ ní olúlu ilé àjọ òun ní fásitì jọ́ọ̀sì àwọn aṣáájú asuu tẹ̀ka tìlú jọ́ọ̀sì sọ di mímọ̀ pé ìnira tí àwọn olùkọ́ ilé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga ń fojú winá rẹ̀ túbọ̀ ń gògò sí o tó sì ṣe kìlọ̀kìlọ̀ yìí pé àlàáfíà eléyìí tó wà ní ẹ̀ka ètò ilé ẹ̀kọ́ fásitì ni ó ṣeé ṣe kí ó dẹnu kọlẹ̀ tíjọba bá tètè gbé ìgbésẹ̀ tó yẹ o gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀rọ̀ tí àjọ asuu sọ ó ní kíkùnà ìjọba àpapọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè nàìjíríà láti ṣíkà àdéhùn eléyìí tó wà láàrin wọn ní ìrètí wà wípé ó ṣeé ṣe kí ó ṣe okùnfà ìyanṣẹ́lódì káàkiri ilé ẹ̀kọ́ fásitì ìjọba àpapọ̀ lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí yàtọ̀ sí ẹ̀ka ètò ẹ̀kọ́ àjọ asuu kọminú bí ètò ọrọ̀ ajé orílẹ̀‐èdè yìí ṣe túbọ̀ ń burú sí i àìní ètò ààbò tó péye àti rògbòdìyàn ọ̀rọ̀ òṣèlú látàrí ètò ìdìbò gbogbogbò ọdún tí ń bọ̀ àwọn àjọ náà wá ṣe kìlọ̀kìlọ̀ yìí pé ìṣẹ́ àti ohun òṣì àìníṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àti ètò ààbò tí ń ṣe ségesège ṣe ń pọ̀ sí i túbọ̀ ń ṣe àkóbá fún ìgbáyégbádùn àwọn ará ìlú jákèjádò orílẹ̀-èdè nàìjíríà. ká padà sí ìpínlẹ̀ èkó ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ èkó ti sọ di mímọ̀ yìí pé àwọn ti fi ọwọ́ òfin mú àwọn ènìyàn tó lé ní ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ̀rún ìyẹn 931 fún ẹ̀sùn fífi ohun ẹ̀gbin síbi tí kò tọ́ eléyìí tí wọ́n sì ti ṣe àbẹ̀wò sí àwọn orí àtàn tó lé díẹ̀ ní 200,000 eléyìí tí àwọn sì ti fi ìwé ẹ̀sùn tó dín díẹ̀ ní 2,000 ìyẹn 1,711 léde fáwọn tí ó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bákan náà ni àwọn sì ti ṣán àgádágodo mọ́ àwọn ilé iṣẹ́ tó lé nígbà tí wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ sófin ìmọ́tótó àyíká ní ìpínlẹ̀ yìí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ó ti ṣe wà nínú akitiyan ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ yìí láti jẹ́ kí àwọn ará ìlú tẹ̀lé òfin ìmọ́tótó àyíká láàrin ọdún tó kọjá ẹni tó jẹ́ kọmíṣánná fún ètò àyíká àti àmúṣọrọ̀ omi ní ìpínlẹ̀ èkó alàgbà tòkunbọ̀ wahab ni ó fi ọ̀rọ̀ yìí léde lásìkò tó ń bá wọn oníròyìn sọ̀rọ̀ ó sì tọ́ka rẹ̀ wípé ọgbọ́n àtinúdá ṣíṣe àmójútó àyíká ní ìrètí wà wípé láti ṣe àmúgbòrò afẹ́fẹ́ tí ó wuyì láwùjọ àti láti mú àdínkù bá ohun ìdọ̀tí láwùjọ wa àti láti dáàbò bo ètò ìlera ará ìlú gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀rọ̀ alàgbà wahab àwọn ikọ̀ tí wọ́n ń ṣàmójútó ètò àyíká ni wọ́n ti ṣe àkókúrò àwọn àwókù ilé tí ó fẹ́rẹ̀ tó 600 tóńsì tí àjọ ọ̀hún sì ń túbọ̀ ń tẹpẹlẹ mọ́ ìpolongo lórí iṣẹ́ àkànṣe ilé kíkọ́ ilé bíbí wó àti ṣíṣe àmójútó jàǹbá lásìkò pàjáwìrì. Wahab tún sọ gbangba wípé àjọ tí ń dáàbòbò ètò àyíká ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó LASEPA ló ti ṣe àmúgbòrò iṣẹ́ àmójútó àyíká nípasẹ̀ ṣíṣètò ohun tí ó máa ṣàmójútó afẹ́fẹ́ jákèjádò ìpínlẹ̀ yìí. Bákan náà ni kọmíṣánná òun wá tẹ̀síwájú nínú ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ wípé ìṣèjọba gómìnà Babájídé Olúṣọlá Sanwó-Olú ni ó sì dúró ṣinṣin o lórí ìpinnu rẹ̀ lójúnà àti ìpèsè àyíká tó dùn ún wò tí wọ́n sì ṣètò àwọn ohun ìmọ̀ ẹ̀rọ ìgbàlódé àti láti túbọ̀ ṣe akitiyan lójúnà àti rí dájú pé ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó wà ní ìmọ́tótó àti ìlera tí ó péye o. Akotan Iroyin kò ní jù báyìí lọ nírọ̀lẹ́ tòní, ṣùgbọ́n ṣaka tó máa lọ ẹgbẹ́ àkókò tó jẹ́ pé ó jẹyọ nínú ìròyìn ọ̀hún. A ti kà sí ń létí pé ìjọba àpapọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ti ya ọjọ́ 17 àti ọjọ́ 28 oṣù yìí sọ̀tọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìsinmi lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ fún ayẹyẹ ọdún Iléyá ọdún yìí. Àtúnmúwá sí tí ìgbẹ̀yìn pé ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú African Democratic Congress ADC ni wọ́n ti bẹnu àtẹ́lu ààrẹ Bọ́lá Tinubu látàrí ètò ọrọ̀ ajé, ètò ààbò àti bí ìnira ṣe ń pọ̀ sí lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà. Láti ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó, àtúnmúwá sí tí ìgbẹ̀yìn pé ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó ti fi ọwọ́ òfin mú àwọn ènìyàn tó lé ní 931 látàrí ẹ̀sùn ṣíṣe ohun ẹ̀gbin síbi tí kò tọ́ ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó, ilé tí sùn ṣe àkóbá fún ètò ìmọ́tótó àyíká ní ìpínlẹ̀ yìí. Akotan Iroyin kò ní jù báyìí lọ ní ìrọ̀lẹ́ tòní, yókù tún di ọ̀la òde yìí nígbà tẹ́ máa pàdé àwọn akọ ẹgbẹ́ mi fúnrò ìlọ́lọ́kan òjọ̀kan iléeṣẹ́ rédíò Adámimógo 93.1 FM tó kalẹ̀ sílùú Lekki ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó. Ǹjẹ́ ní orúkọ Ayọ̀ Adékẹ̀yẹ tó jẹ́ pé òun náà nìyẹn olóòtú ìròyìn, òun náà lèmi Kẹ́hìndé Adélékè tí mo ṣe ayan igbí fọ̀rẹ̀ tùsùkà sẹ́tì ìgbẹ́yìn tẹ́ ń gbọ́ alẹ́ sọ fún yín pé a kú ọ̀lẹ́ akọ afẹ́fẹ́ tí ń fẹ́ gẹ́gbẹ́ afẹ́fẹ́ lẹ̀ Canada yóò tún gbogbo wa lára o. ṣáká rántí pé àsìkò òjò láwà ká ṣọ́ra fún à ń da ohun ìdọ̀tí àti ohun ẹ̀gbin sáwọn kòtò dámi nítorí àwọn àgbàbọ̀ wọn ní ọ̀gbàrá kò ní òun ò nílé wo, ṣùgbọ́n ṣá o onílé lò nígbà fún kásì tí wọ́n ti pé àsìkò pọ̀pọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ ọdún Iléyá láwà ká ṣọdún níwọ̀nba ohun tó bá ká máa wà lọ́wọ́ òun náà ní ká fi ṣọdún. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká sáré mọ́tò ká kọlu kẹ̀kẹ́ o. Títí àsìkò yìí títí ẹ jẹ́ ká pàdé láago 7 àṣálẹ́ òní lórí ètò Ògo Ìjẹ̀bú. Títí àkókò ọ̀hún káfayọ̀ àti rẹ̀ pàdé o. Ẹ ṣé o tẹ́ǹtẹ́tí sí wa ìdó kàbìtì.
Orí mi ti pé báyìí.
Kí ló ń rùn báyìí lágbègbè? Àwọn aládìpọ̀ ọmọ àdánwò, àwọn ọmọ oríwo wọ́n tún ti mú pàyà àwọn ọmọ làwọn eléyà bá fi ọwọ́ wá mi. ṣíọ.
Èmi ló ń wí, kí ló kàn ẹ́ ń bẹ̀? Èwo ń tiẹ̀ ẹlẹ́nu rẹ́zọ̀.
Igbó mímu yìí ṣe nǹkan rẹ̀, ẹ jáwọ́ nú ẹ̀.